Oh my lord. This video is a hot fucking mess. But welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 28 life lessons I have learned in 28 years. I'm going to try as hard as I can to stick to my script because y'all know how much I can ramble on. So, point 1, follow your heart. And I know this is some sort of cliche bullshit we hear all the time when we're making a tough decision, when we're choosing which game to play or movie to watch, when we're choosing which toothpaste to use, even when we're ordering takeout. Follow your heart. But it's so true. You need to follow your heart because you are the only person who can tell if something makes you happy or not. At this age especially, how you feel about certain things is more important than how people would feel about them. Point 2, you only need a few real friends in your life. It's already point 2 and I'm already struggling to stay to the script. And don't mind me if I keep looking over this way. I'm reading my Word document because fuck if I can remember this all off by heart. And I'm not saying ghost all your other friends that aren't close to you and play favorites. It's nothing like that at all. The reality is though, as we grow older, we begin to realize the quality of our relationships is more important than having like a bajillion friends on Facebook who barely give a shit enough to give you likes on your posts or even comments. You know, you have people like that. I know everybody does. Number 3, love is worth taking a risk for. I know you might think love is overrated and all that stuff, but listen. Love is actually a beautiful and amazing experience when you find the right person to share it with. We all get hurt over the years. Sometimes it's simply just inevitable. Some people are lucky to find their person the first time and spend the rest of their lives with them. Those people are the rare lucky few. But please don't give up on finding that right person, because once you do, the wait will have been worth it. That also leads me into point 4. Lesson 4. Be patient. Life is not going to happen overnight. Nothing big and meaningful is really going to happen overnight if you want to go that far. You need to work for something that you really want. Living with the served to you on a silver platter mentality will only get you so far in life. Excuse me. I had a friend once who would have everything handed to her as soon as she asked for it. As soon as she asked for it. As soon as she asked for it. That, however, is tea for another time, because boy, that is a story. My point is, though, everything that is difficult is always worth having. Point 5. Take care of your health. Oop! I'm 28 going on 30 in a couple years, and I can attest to the fact that you certainly do not get any younger. I've 100% let myself go over the years, and while I might not look it, I certainly feel it. You're almost done with your 20s at this point. You cannot keep eating junk food and guzzling pop like we used to when we were teenagers. We need to learn to take care of ourselves, or else we're going to send ourselves to an early grave, as morbid and dark as that might be. I'm sorry. In the long run, though, it's you who benefits from taking care of yourself, nobody else. Point 6. Be optimistic, but not too much. Optimism is most of the time the key to succeeding, because when you're positive about something, there is a big chance that you will succeed with it. It's the whole self-prophesizing theory. Look it up. Educate yourselves. Thoughts lead to actions, whether they're positive or negative. Be positive, but do not be overconfident. Sometimes when things are too optimistic, they don't happen. Then we get hurt and discouraged, and can I tell you a thing or two about learning this one the hard way far too many times as I grew up. Point 7. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Unless, of course, they're an asshole to you. But for reals, treat people how you'd want to be treated. For example, whenever I meet a new person online or chat with someone via comments or social media, I always make sure to be nice and pleasant. Literally unless the other person decides to be a dick. Then, of course, I treat them with a sarcastic niceness that literally literally, and I love it so much. It drives the trolls crazy because there's no better feeling than knowing how triggered trolls get when they can't affect their intended target. They get so mad, and it is fucking amazing to watch it all play out. Number 8, accept the things you cannot change. That's me. In life, sometimes there are certain things that will make us go kind of crazy, especially if you have even the slightest bit of a control issue. But yet we cannot change it. For example, the way people act or react. You cannot control another person's perception as much as you'd like the other party to perhaps see your side of the story, but they won't or can't. There are a lot of other things you will encounter that you cannot control. What you can do is just get over it, I guess. That's really all you can do at the end of the day. If there's something that you can't control, like, what can you do about it? It could be difficult most of the time, but we need to accept that certain things are just best left the way they are. We just need to have faith and trust that things will fall into the place at the right time as they're meant to. Number 9, do not let fear control you. Fear is universal. In every human, animal, and I'd even go as far to say plants feel it too to some degree, I'd imagine. But you can't let fear control your perception. It only holds you back. Fun fact of the day, it's actually easier to face your fear than live in it day by day. Okay, there's like this awesome book that I picked up from the library once when I was going through a self-healing journey last summer. And it's called Face the Fear and Do It Anyway. It barely took me a few hours to finish the book completely. I would highly recommend to check this book out if there's something you really want to do, or you're just too afraid to do it, or if you're going through your own self-healing journey. I would definitely check that book out. Lesson 10, you cannot fix people. This will only frustrate you, trust me. I did it to my boyfriend for at least the first year of a relationship because he was such a broken boy that had come out of really toxic relationship before me, and all I wanted to do was take his suffering away and show him peace. It all comes out of like a good place, of course, but please do not put that load on yourself. Fixing people isn't like fixing your hair or your clothes or your makeup. It's not like that. People are people. They will make mistakes no matter what you do, and we ourselves will make some mistakes along the way too. The people around you will disappoint you, they'll hurt you, and they'll let you down, and you have to deal with it. People will change for the better when and if they realize that it is for the better. What you can do, though, is inspire them, influence them, and support them to do what is good and what is right for them, not what you believe is right for them. Lesson 11, drink more water. God damn. I cannot tell you how big of a mood this one is. I suffered most of my life with constant migraines. I thought it was just a thing my body did until a couple years ago when I started drinking water regularly, like a normal human being. And poof, all of a sudden, all my suffering, migraines seemed to just disappear. As dull and boring as water is, it's benefited me in a way that I'm no longer suffering with nearly daily migraines, so please, drink your water, it's important. Lesson 12, tell the people you care about that you love them. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of normal life, but if there's people you really care about and you love, you'll always make time for them, even if it's a 5-minute call on a busy day. Life is too short. Do not take the people in your life for granted. Maybe your partner has been a little too clingy, or your best friend is starting to tick you off with a little annoying habits. They are in your life for a reason, though, and neither of those are a shout out to my real boyfriend and real best friend, by the way, just so they know. They're in your life for a reason, and you are in theirs for a reason too. Be grateful for every single day that they're able to grace your life with, because one day you won't have them anymore. As morbid as it might sound, and scary, believe me, I was blindsided when my grandma passed away unexpectedly, leaving me feeling like I had gotten the wind knocked out of me. Thankfully though, I was able to tell her that I had loved her 2 days before she passed, and while there are still things I regret not being able to tell her, being able to tell her I loved her the last time I saw her is something I'm forever grateful for, because some people aren't even given that much when their loved ones pass away. So please always let them know that you are beyond grateful for having them in your life, and show it. Lesson 13, listen. That's my favorite word. Please Stop talking so much and just learn how to listen to other people. Me. If I said I'd mastered this lesson already, I'd be a liar, honestly. I like talking. I like talking about stuff that goes on in my brain. If anyone's seen any of my Twitch streams, they know I can babble on for ages about shit. I feel like I have so much to say all the goddamn time and so much to share that sometimes I just forget to stop and listen to the other person. Boyfriendo can attest to that one. Lesson 14. Never stop dreaming. Always have some sort of goal, even if it's not something you can achieve in the next year or even two, as long as you have something to look forward to, something to live for. Even if it's just a dream to get married one day, buy a home and settle down. Don't give up on those dreams. Nothing worth having is easy. Lesson 15. Do what makes you happy. As you grow older and hopefully wiser, somehow I did a little bit anyway, you need to know how to invest your time wisely. If your job is making you miserable, then you should start rethinking things and know when to move forward. Life is too short for us to be doing things that do not make our hearts genuinely happy. And if leaving your job isn't an immediate option, start planning. Make goals, short-term, long-term, all of them. Start now. That's what's important, is starting now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not in an hour, now. Not that I listen to my own advice anyway. Lesson 16. Stop thinking that you have figured out all your shit, because you're wrong. I hate to burst your bubble, but it's true. You have not figured it all out. Every day you're alive, you're growing and learning more stuff. Learning more about the world, about the people around you, about yourself. So stop thinking you got your shit together, because sooner or later, life is gonna give you a harsh reality check if you're not expecting it. Lesson 17. Internet friends are real friends. And I cannot emphasize this enough. I know there are people out there who don't get it. How can you have a friendship with somebody you've never met? But I have been fortunate enough to meet some of the most amazing people and now closest friends in my life online. I even met my boyfriend 2 years now and counting online. Come on, people, it's 2019. You don't need to physically meet someone to form a meaningful relationship with them. Lesson 18. Blood does not make family. Say it louder for the people in the back! Blood does not make family. And if you're someone who has been blessed with an awesome family who actually cares about you, then you're lucky. Treasure them. Do not take them for granted. But I also want to say this for the people who have made their own little family with their group of friends rather than their own blood family. And that is 100% okay. Fuck the people who say otherwise. If your real family is abusive and caring or do nothing for you, you owe them nothing. Lesson 19. Nothing is worth the cost of your mental health. I went into a college program in the fall of 2018 thinking it was what I wanted to do. At the time, it was something I wanted to do, but by the time February 2019 rolled around, I was at like my wit's end. In January, I was the most depressed I had ever been in my entire life, and if there's anyone who knows me, I've never really suffered with depression, thankfully. Never severely to the point where it was like debilitating, except for 1 week in January. Ultimately, forcing myself to do something I wasn't happy with or something I didn't want to do, as shallow and self-serving as that might sound, it was mental torture. I literally could not handle it. Just the thought of going to school the next day had me in an anxiety-induced panic. My anxiety had started to form physically in the way of like an itchy patch on the back of my head, of which I would itch and tug at the hair consistently. I was afraid I was going to give myself a bald patch, honestly, if I kept it up, so I stopped going. So please, your mental health is important. Don't disregard it. Lesson 20. It is good to talk. I know I just said listen, but it's also good to talk. Just, you gotta balance those two out, okay? For me, I used to bottle things up. A lot. I didn't want to make my problems other people's problems. Everyone has a problem. They don't have time to walk me through my own, right? Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. If you have people that support and love you, they will always take the time out of whatever busy schedule they might have going on for you. I've been proven that time and time again from the 3 closest people in my life. My boyfriend, my best friend, and my best friend's boyfriend, who is basically like a little brother to me. Honestly though, it's good to talk. The people who truly care about you will listen. They want to listen. Don't shy away from it. I can't tell you how much more freeing it is to be able to talk about my problems instead of letting them bottle up. It's like a dynamite stick. That's the best analogy I could think of anyway. Once the problem is lit, it's going to burn until it blows up. You talking about said problem is usually an effective way of diffusing the dynamite, so to speak. Lesson 21. Don't be afraid to be childish. There's a time and the place for everything is what I always like to think. That's my motto. I have a lot of life mottos, so including being mature. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you need to change your entire person to match this adult aesthetic that everyone seems to have their own version of in their head. Be you. For instance, I'm just naturally childish at heart. I live my life as wild and crazy as possible. But I am and I can be mature when called for, such as workplaces, school, etc. If I need to be mature, I will. If I don't have to be. Lesson 22. Pets are family. If you have pets, you'll already know what I mean. Pets are not just animals. They're part of your family, part of your life. Your pet relies solely on you for their entire life. From the moment they're handed to you in your arms, barely a few months old, to the day they pass away in your arms some 10 years later. Pets aren't called fur babies for no reason. You wouldn't, and most certainly shouldn't, treat them any differently than you would a human child, except for like the obvious, teaching them how to use a toilet or letting them eat off the table, you know. The obvious borders between treating humans and animals differently, but you know what I mean. Lesson 23. You are literally your own worst critic. This is one huge, ginormous mood. My life motto now is literally just, you can't bully me any more than I bullied myself. Again, another life motto. Because it's true though. I literally spent 28 years of my life beating myself down and making sure I could not get back up, because why should someone like me be given the chance? Lesson 24. People actually aren't paying as much attention as you think. It's a weird lesson to learn. It is for the most part reassuring that everyone is too busy with their own lives to notice yours. On the other hand, it can be a little sad to think that no one notices you unless you're an introvert like me who would rather go unnoticed in daily life. Lesson 25. Time away from social media is essential. Even if it's half an hour before bed, turn your phone on silent and read a book. Take your mind away from the internet and back to your own life. Write a journal entry. What happened today? For someone like me who's addicted to their phone, it's hard. It's really hard, but it is so worth it. I wouldn't be here had I not taken some time to myself. The week that I had mentioned earlier, after my bad depression back in January, I took 3 days off my desktop computer and sat on Twitch and streamed for like 3 days. And I know it's not completely offline, but since I was using my phone to stream, it took my ability away to check social media or do anything on my phone. As long as I wanted to keep streaming, I had to keep my phone sitting there on the Twitch app, or else the stream would shut down. Lesson 26. Money can't buy happiness, but not having it is hard. I've always believed in the whole money can't buy happiness, but the absence of money and struggling to make ends meet is exhausting, stressful, and generally just unpleasant. I'm someone who's always struggled with money. While I managed to keep a roof over my head and some sort of grub in the cupboards, I'm still pretty poor. And like, I'm not complaining by any means. I'm not gonna lie about my life. I'm not gonna say I have some extravagant life or anything like that. Lesson 27. You don't have to like what everyone else likes. I'm the kind of person who just likes whatever I like. Like, if I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. But I know for a fact that my boyfriend struggles with this, which is why I'm putting it on the list, because it's important. And it's a lesson that I've learned through him, I guess, in a way. Just because something is hot or popular or your friends like it does not mean you have any obligation to be into it. Some people might laugh at you for not being into it, but at the end of the day, everyone has their own tastes. You know better than anyone what you like, and trying to like something you just don't is not going to make anyone happy. At the end of the day, I think it's better for everyone involved just to be true to who you are. Nick. And my last and final lesson is nothing lasts forever. Though it's true of happiness as well, I want to focus on the context of bad times mostly. When you find yourself lost in the darkness, it can feel like you will never get out. I wouldn't be talking about this if I hadn't gone through it myself. When things are bad, they always seem the absolute worst in the moment in time when it's happening. But 2 months down the road, heck, even 2 weeks down the road, you're gonna look back on that experience and go, huh, that did happen. If I've learned one thing in life, it's that no matter how permanent and all-consuming it feels, sadness is temporary. One day you wake up and your chest feels lighter, you can breathe easier, or you catch yourself laughing again, and you feel unstoppable. The sun will come up again. Cherish every second. All of this, of course, is just up to your perception of how you take this. Mentality is important. Glass half full or glass half empty. How do you perceive life? Anyway, so that is the end of the video. I'm going to cut it off here because I actually don't know how long I've been recording for, and I'm trying to keep my videos to a 10-minute length anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys this Saturday. Actually, I won't have a video up for Friday, but I will have a special video up for Saturday since it's 420, so that'll basically be my Friday video. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, that's about it. I love you guys. Bye!